Hello, welcome people. Alright, just getting myself settled up inside. Just getting myself sorted. A little bit early to go live. Another couple of minutes yet. So just roll a fag. Have a cup of coffee and wait for some people to come along and join. How are we all doing out there today? How is everybody today? Hopefully everyone can hear me. Good afternoon, morning, welcome, all that malarkey. So yeah, just gonna have a quick fag before we start delving into the petrol tanks. This little beauty has been sucking up air from the fuel tank where the clunk is. Now yesterday I changed, you see, I don't know if you can see it, you can't actually see it down here, the MCD. Yesterday, put some new fuel lines in the MCD. Today we're going to put the fuel lines in 30⁰North. All messages, there we go. 16 people watching, good afternoon. Nice to have you along with me. So yeah, this is the 30⁰North RC truck. As you can see, it's a very big truck. They're not small, are they? Let's see if we can get this a bit more in shot. There we go, there's a little bit more in shot. So this is a 5th scale rig. It's 2-stroke powered. I'm going to take the case off in a minute and you'll be able to see the insides of the truck. And we're going to change the fuel lines out because, like I said, last time I ran this, I've struggled really hard to get a tune on it. And no matter what I did, no matter how fat I made it, it always seemed to be running a little bit lean. It wasn't until later on when I was running it without the shell on, I noticed there was air bubbles coming up from the tank all the way to the carburetor. So somewhere it was drawing up air and obviously leading out my tune, which is what killed the Zenoah 32 at Bashfest. Initially I thought it had got lean because the fuel tank cap had got caked up and failed to vent, and I thought that's what had caused it to run a bit lean. Hello there, welcome along, thank you for joining. Well, as it turned out, it wasn't that, it was getting air in from the fuel line. So I've ordered some new fuel lines, high flow fuel lines, and a new clunk to put in the tank as well. So I'm just going to finish my cigarette off before we go into the tanks. Get a few people joining up on the live stream. And then once we've changed, hello there Peter, how you doing? Thank you for joining me. And then once we've changed the fuel lines, we're going to give it a start and a run and see if we can get a good tune on it. We're also going to give this a run today. This is an MCD RRV4. 4-wheel drive, same as the 30⁰North. And yesterday afternoon I changed the fuel lines in that, because I had a similar problem. If you look back through my shorts and my reels, you'll see the fuel lines had been burnt through from the exhaust, and it had melted the plastic. Melted the rubber pipe on the fuel line. So obviously I was having a air problem with that one as well. So we've changed that. So we're going to give that a run after we've done this one. So we're going to change this one over. Then we're going to give them both a quick blap up and down the road and just see if we can get a decent tune out of it. I'm itching, absolutely itching to see this 32 run. Used to have a 29 in it when I bought it. I raced it for a year with a 29cc engine in it. And then at Bashfest in May, I picked up some Zenoah 32cc parts off a friend of mine. A bottom end and a top end, but no piston. So I ordered up a piston and a ring, built it, took the car back to Bashfest in August. And during the endurance race, it started off really, really strong. And then during the endurance race, it was just bogging, and then it died. And it would not start again for love nor money. I cooked the engine. Absolutely cooked it. I genuinely thought it was down to the fuel tank cap getting plugged up on the breather hole. Because when the fuel tank obviously gets blocked, it creates a vacuum in the fuel tank, and if it's creating vacuum, it can't pull the fuel through quick enough. And I thought that's what had happened, and I'd leaned my engine out and cooked it, stripped it down, put a new piston ring in it. That's now sitting in my spares box, and in here we have a brand new bottom end 32 and a brand new top end that I rebuilt. So I've now got two Zenoah 32s. This is a 29 in the MCD. It's a 30.5cc in my Baja, and I've got two 29cc spares and a spare 32. So I'm doing all right for engines at the moment. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me. I've got 30 people locked in. That's really nice of you. Don't forget, drop a comment, drop a like, give us a share and all that malarkey. I'm on all the other socials as well. You'll find me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. If you just look for Matt.Hurst1980, you'll find me. Right, let's finish waffling a little bit. I know I said I was going to finish my cigarette and that, but we can take the case off. We can take the cover off while I'm doing that. I'm not going to dive into the fuel tanks with a lit fag. But we can remove the shell of this beast. Look at that. Absolutely incredible these are. All that roll cage in there, so well protected. And of course, pretty much bulletproof body panels on these. So we'll move you in a little bit closer. You can have a little look-see and see what's going on here. So there's the fuel lines in the fuel tank. And they run round to the carburettor there. Now, no matter what I did, I was getting air coming up from this grommet in the tube all the way up to the carb. So that's not right. So somewhere in this pipeline, there is a pinhole which is drawing air in. So do you know what, I'm just going to put my fag down. We'll have that again in a bit. Right, people, thank you for joining. Let's get into this then. It's quite simple and straightforward and easy really with these. On the 30⁰North there is a little hex screw or Allen key. Allen! Is that the right size? Yes. And that just holds that, just a little clamp there that just clamps the pipes down to stop them flailing about as you're driving around. So we'll just undo that one now. One little clamp, and then they can pull out of there. Where did that go? That's my little. There's the little bracket there that holds the two fuel pipes together. Pull that one off there. Pull that one off there. So that's the two fuel lines out. And there is your clunk, which sits in the bottom of the tank. Now, I cannot, for the life of me, work out where the air was coming in from. So what we're going to do is just change these out completely. So we're going to put some brand new fuel lines in there, pull that one out. And we'll pull that one out. Courtesy of Tit Racing. There we go, people. Tit Racing. Do check them out. There's a little QR code there on the back if you want to give that a scan. Focus. Gonna focus? It's not gonna focus, is it? So maybe you won't be able to scan that QR code, but it was worth a shot anyway. So in my fuel line pack we got a couple of valves and some fuel line. Now when I did the MCD yesterday, thank you everybody for joining me. We've got 57 people watching. That's really nice. Don't forget, please do give us a like, share and drop a comment if you're interested in what's going on. Give us a follow and a subscribe. It doesn't cost anything to hit the subscribe button. I don't have a members only channel, so it is free. Basically, if you click the subscribe button, you'll get notified whenever I post a video. You have to click the bell and select all notifications. And then whenever we go live, you'll get a notification to say that we're on air. Right, let's have a look here. So that's the return line. No, we don't want to go too long with that. So we'll make that about the same length. Like so. Now, one thing with these little valves, these are the high flow valves, you will find they're a bit loose in your cap. Okay, so the way I got around this was with the old tube. So I just trim a bit of that off because it's swollen up with the fuel. Over time these tubes do swell, so what we're going to do is we're just going to ram a little bit of old fuel tubing into the grommet, just enough like that, and we'll trim that off. And what that'll do is that'll narrow the hole, you see. So there we go, we've got a slightly smaller hole now. And then when we push that through, it should stay where it is. There we go. So now we can push our extended valve in. Look at that, nice and tight. So we've got a good tight fit in there now. So we're just going to do the same on the other hole. Gonna squeeze the old fuel tube in there, just like that. Just so it comes through the bottom of the grommet and just gives the pipe that we're putting in something to purchase. Trim off the excess of that again. Right, there we go. And we'll put the other one of those through that tube in the hole in the grommet. There we go. Of course, trying not to push the tube all the way through the grommet as we push those in. Otherwise, it won't be doing any good. Okay, so that's our two tubes in the grommet. Now we've cut our feed line. Let's have a look here. So return line is going to go, let me have a look at this here. Return line. There we go. And we're going to pop that on to So that one there. And then with the return line, of course, we don't need anything on the bottom of that. But for the other one, what we are going to do is put the clunk on with the pickup line. Okay, so we're going to get a bit of this other tubing from yesterday, where I changed the lines on the MCD. We're going to get our clunk. It's called a clunk because it clunks around in the bottom of your tank. And where did my pliers go? There we got a little spring clip. So we're just going to pop that on our tube there like that. Put the clunk on over the tube like so, and then we're just going to move our little spring clip up and over to the end there, just to help hold. Tom Sanders, hello. One of those. Are you selling one of those? Unfortunately not, mate. Unfortunately not. All of these are mine. Right, so there we go. We're going to put that clunk there on the return line, sorry, on the pickup line there. And we're going to pop that into the tank. And then in a moment, we're going to pop the grommet back on. Let's put our feed line to the carburettor on here. Let's pop the grommet back in now, peeps. Okay, mate. Yeah, sorry. No, I don't sell. These are all mine. I got my MCD, I got my Baja, and I got my 30⁰ North. They're all 3 different trucks. All 3 different completely animals. This one here's got the Zenoah 32 in it. But I've always struggled to get a tune on this. And I realised I was getting air up in the fuel tank. Air coming up the fuel lines from the tank into the carburettor. So that's why it was running lean and I was struggling to tune it. So we're changing out the fuel lines. Changed out the fuel lines on the MCD, and then we're going to give this a start, see if we can get a decent tune on it. Now, I'm warning you, anybody sitting there with headphones in, you might want to take them out, because when this bugger starts, it's loud. It sounds like a motocross bike. Right, so we're just going to push this grommet back into the tank now. It's a very tight fit, which is what you want. You don't want it leaking after all, do you? There we go, right. So that's the grommet fitted into the tank. Now we're just going to run our 2 fuel lines into this little holder here, like so. That one's going to come down, and we're going to want to cut that. That's about there. Okay. Right, so just get me snips again. Give that a little nip. Pop that onto the intake of the carb, which is at the bottom of your carburettor. The return is always at the top. And then we're just going to put our little pipe retaining. What size motor is that? 32. Yes, there's another 32 in this one. I'll let you have a look in a minute. I'll move the camera and you can have a closer look shortly. So just going to put our fuel retaining clamp back on the pipes there, and put our little clip just on there to help hold those nicely. Right, let's have a little layer. So there we go. We have Zenoah 32 here, as you can see. There we go, Zenoah. We got the transfer ports there, which are modified ports. I've shaved them down a little bit already. I need to reconnect my kill switch on this one, to be honest with you. I haven't done that. I really should do that, but yeah, especially if we're going to run it. Last thing we want to run away. And then of course we've got easy starter and a big bore pipe. So let's finish off my bag and then we'll top it up with some fuel. Sick dog, thank you very much, mate. Nicely. I take it you're into your RCs, if you know enough about them to ask whether it's a 32 or what have you. What do you tend to run and race? What do you drive? I've got quite a few. I've got the 30⁰North or the Lossy 5T, as you see here, with the expansion pipe on it and the 32cc Zenoah. I've got my MCD here, which is the RRV4. That one's got a Samba silence pipe on it. I had a runaway on my first 18th scale. Damn, yeah, you don't want runaways, mate. I had a runaway years and years and years and years ago with a Marder. I just bought it, never put a kill switch in it. I had a Baja at the time and I had a Punisher as well, both of which had kill switches. And I picked up this FG Marder. It's 26cc, I think it was. And I took it over the local park. And it had the old nickel metal hydride and NIMAC batteries. It wasn't even a LiPo, the old stick battery. Of course, that's how the FGs are. You got the big stick battery at the back there, and then you got the little radio box, and then you got the servo. And I think the wire came out of the battery to the servo tray for whatever. I don't know whether it got caught, snagged, what happened, but yeah, it fucked off across the field at full chat, on a 26, and it took a little tree down. It went. I heard it go into the bushes on the other side of the field, and I heard this crack. I was like, no. I was dreading it, absolutely dreading it. And it had taken a tree about that diameter out completely, snapped the trunk in half, and it was just sat there idling. And the impact must have shocked the servo, or the throttle linkage down to neutral, where it boom just killed the throttle, and it just sat there idling. Absolutely fine, not a brake on the car at all. The only thing it broke was the tree. I was like, oh my god. From that day I have never ever run one without a kill switch. Saying that, I'm about to start this one up, but she's not on the floor, so she's not going to go anywhere. So I'm just going to finish my fag up, then we're going to knock a bit of two-stroke up, and we're going to fire her up and see if we can get a decent tune on it for a change. So just change the fuel lines, because these fuel lines here, as you can see, they're a bit old compared to the new one. You can see the difference there. And somewhere in this line is a hole, because it was sucking up air from the tank. And no matter what I did, I could not maintain that tune. Am I sure it's a she? Yeah, well, this is a she, definitely. She's a bitch. Right then, peeps, let's knock up a bit of fuel, put the fag out, knock some fuel up. I use Castrol T2 fuel, if anybody's interested, or 2T. Right, so we're gonna bung the fuel in up to the fuel level marker. I tend to run 32 to 1. I know most people will say 25 to 1. Some people get easily confused over this mixing ratio stuff, and they seem to think that 50 to 1 means there's more oil than 25 to 1. No, 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 no. It's 50 parts per million as opposed to 25 parts per million. And what that actually refers to is your fuel. So your petrol is 50 parts to 1 part of oil if you're doing 50 to 1. Is that right? 50, yes. So 50 parts of fuel to 1 part of oil. Now, if you run 25 to 1, you're running 25 parts of fuel to 1 part of oil. So you've got, if you double that up, you've got 2 bits of oil. Yeah. So if you go 25, 50, you've got 2 bits of oil at 25 to 1. Now, 25 to 1, you're actually reducing your octane. Okay, because you've got more oil content. Now, oil will lubricate your engine, but your fuel is what gives you the performance. Your fuel is what makes your engine go bang. So, this is why I tend to run at 32 to 1, and I use 99 premium as well. Okay, I do not use ethanol fuel. Although, having said that, there is up to 5% ethanol even in 99 octane in the UK. So, but yeah, the reason I run 32 to 1, you get a bit more bang because it's a little bit less oil and a little bit more fuel. So we're just mixing that up now. Where are we at there? A bit more. That should do us nicely. Fully synthetic, yes, of course. There we go. Castrol Power T2. Only the best. Outstanding performance in the bowl. So, won't be long now, people, and we'll have this beastie fired up. Let's just give the fuel a mix. Make sure that oil's well and truly mixed into the petrol there. So we've got a good mixture going on. Now, let's have a look at where my carb settings are because they're probably well out. Let's have a look here. Half, 1, half, 2, and a half. Yeah, we were well out. Half, 1, 1.5, 2. Right. Half, 1, 1.5, 2. Half, 1, 1.5, 2. Now I'm going for 2 on each just to get it started. And that way we guarantee we'll get a run. We'll get it started. Hi, are you a mechanic? Sort of. Sort of 2-stroke mechanic. Don't really work on cars or diesels, but I will work on these all day long. Absolutely love them. All right, so we're going to fill her up there. All right, okay, people, if you've got headphones in, I suggest you take them out because this girl is loud. So we don't want to be blowing up your headphones and we don't want to be blowing up your speakers at home. So watch your volume. I use Penrite. That's not something we tend to get in the UK. I'm guessing that's very much an American. Penrite's all I've ever used in my mechanic shop and race car. Yeah, that sounds, it's like Pennzoil, isn't it? It's very much an American company. In the UK, we tend to get Motul. Oh, Australian. My apologies. There you go. We get Motul, Mobil, Castrol, Duckham's. I think Duckham's is pretty rare now. I don't think you see that very often. Right, so let's Controllers come to grief. There we go. Turn that on, 30° north. All right then. I'm going to prime her up. Don't seem to be getting air bubbles coming up now, which is a good thing. Choke on. There we go. Choke off. Right, gonna let that warm up a little bit, and then we're gonna give it full throttle, and we're gonna adjust the high-speed needle. Then once we've got full throttle, we're gonna adjust the low. All right? So there we go, that's running nicely. Now, I've just found something that I lost ages ago. And that's my Dean's to XT90 connector. Two strokes are easy, it's just a fuel and spark. Exactly. You can't go wrong with a two stroke. They are so simple. They are absolutely so simple. You saw how easy that was to tune there. We got full throttle, we got an idle. I am going to connect the kill switch back up again. And give it a little rip. Or am I? Am I just going to give it a rip? I don't know. You know, to reconnect my kill switch, I'm going to have to solder it. So in the meantime, we'll give it a little rip. We'll give it a little rip and then I'll connect it up again later. I'm just going to be a daredevil. I'm live. We've got 57 people joining me. So there ain't no point I need to tell you what I do need to do, and that is see if we can wedge a bit of that in my vent hole, because it's spluttering. Gonna need a bigger hole than that one. We'll have to deal with that another time, because I can't get that in there because it's spluttering out the fuel tank. Sounds good, mate. You got any nitros? Yes, I do. I've got a nitro Hiboo Hyper 7 and a Hiboo Hyper ST, which is a 1/8 truggy and a 1/8 buggy. Nitros are all right, I'll be honest with you. Like, they are fun. They are good when they get going. The last time I took my ST truggy out was a couple of weeks ago. And the glow plug had failed. The platinum or palladium or whatever it is that they coat the actual coil in had given up. So it weren't maintaining a glow on the coil. So as soon as I took the igniter off, it would die. So in the end, I just left the igniter on and sent it around the track with the glow igniter still on it for a little while. It was fine until it rolled over and the igniter come off and conked out, which was annoying, because then you got to retrieve the car all the way back to where you were, put it back on the bump start on the box, because it ain't got a pull start, it's on bump start box. Can I drive it? What, this one? What now, or the nitro? I'm going to give this one a little rip in a minute, yeah. And I'm going to give the MCD a little tune, because we've changed the fuel lines on that, so I want to make sure that they're behaving and doing what they should be doing now. Because there's nothing worse than... I'll tell you what's wrong with it. What's that? Lucky man hopefully getting... You tell me what's wrong with it. What's wrong with it then? There's nothing wrong with it. I've sorted it. It's fixed. It's working. Ain't got no gas in it. Oh, it's got gas in it. She's got gas in it. She's got so much fuel in there. It's actually, with the engine vibration, it's vibrating it out of the vent hole on the fuel tank. I need to just put a bit of tube in the vent hole so that it don't splutter. Oh, actually, I wonder if that would fit in there. The old filter, that might fit in there. Just put that in there. That'll stop it, because then it'll breathe. No, I'm gonna need a bit of fuel line, and a drill bit. That's too small. Gonna need a bigger drill bit than that. Put foam in there, yeah. I'm just gonna put a little bit of tube in the hole and a filter on the top like that. So all I'm gonna do, just stop it coming out the vent hole. Stop it splattering out. Right, 2 seconds, people. I will be right back. I'm just going to grab my drill. I'm going to bang a hole through this cap, put a bit of fuel line in there, and then we've got a vent hole. 2 seconds. Yo, people, we are back. Right. And, oh, what we got written? My latest is a boat with a 32 in it. Sick dog. Nice, mate. My mate, Mr. Darch, has got he does offshore powerboat racing. His boats are bigger than this car. In length. They're nearly 2 metre and a half, 2 metres long. He's just put a Taylor 35 in his powerboat. And they go out chase boating. So they go on a boat, like a real boat, and they're on a real boat with their controllers, and they're following their boats on the water. Mental. And that Taylor 35, he's done so much custom work on that. He's had to make he's customized the head. So he's had to cut all the cooling fins down, put a water jacket head on it so that it can keep it cool. He's had to modify all the mounting points and the way the drive is and the clutch and all the rest of it, because it's totally different on a boat compared to a car. But yeah, that's something special. That really is something special. Right, it's a soldering iron. You know what that means? It means I ain't gonna put my kill switch on before I give it a run. Sorry people, but I am not risking nearly £1,000 worth of toy fucking off down the road. So bear with me 1 second. We are going to get this sorted and we will give it a little rip. All right, people. Okay, I need a bit of power, so I just started the van up. Disconnect that. Done. Boom. Right, yeah, otherwise you'll lose me. My audio will end up going on to the the van rather than my phone. Right, okay. Excuse me. Not a pretty sight, I'm sure, people. I apologise. Just looking for my extension lead. Nobody really wants to see that now, do they? Sorry, I apologise there. So let's get my extension lead out. I'll tell you what, it's so handy having a van with power supply and an inverter and everything on it. Plug that in and turn it on. Put the old soldering iron on. Let that heat up quickly. And then we can solder our kill switch connectors back on. And then we can take it for a quick rip. Alright people, and then we're going to give the MCD a rip and see if we can get a good tune on that one. What boat do you run? Do you do power boating, lake boating? Have you got catamaran, twin hull, single hull, twin prop, single prop? Tell me more, man. Tell me more. Do love a 32cc though. They are so good. Mind you, saying that, I mean, my Baja's got the O'Neill Brothers 30.5 in it. That's full mod, racing tune. Really good bit of kit, that is. Too small. That's about right. Squeeze it in with that one. Come on, I want to know what your latest, tell me more about your boat. I'm curious. I am curious to know more about this boat. I say my mate Mr. Darch has got one. Well, he's got three or four boats. That is going to be absolutely perfect. Once we can get that in the hole. Excellent. Pull a bit of that through. Look at that. Look, there we go. So that's sealed the hole up there, and that gives me a nice little filter on the top there to vent. Alrighty then. This is really easy to do, a kill switch. They're very easy to do, kill switches, in fact. Getting my 30 North this weekend. Excellent, mate. You'll enjoy it. Fantastic trucks, they really are. So we're just going to tin those two cables up quickly. And then now they're tinned up, all we're going to do is stick them on the back of the kill switch button. A little blob of solder. Fresh bit of solder with some flux on it. Reheat that. That's one side done. Just do the other side quickly. Solder on there. Melt the flux. And we're on. So that's kill switch fitted. Very easy, very simple. And that's the stop button back in. Right, so let me check the processes here. Off, on. Right, so that should fire. He says. A little bit of choke always helps. we go. So there we go. It's all sorted now. Controller's about to die. Right, I need to adjust my trim. Right back with you guys. Oh, there we go. Right, we got messages. Message retracted. Nice ass. Thank you very much. Oh dear. Right, well, that's one done out of the two. Battery's beeping. Controller's a little bit flat. Let's put that on charge. Off. Okay, so that's running a lot better. A lot better. So that's a bonus. We still got people watching. Excellent. It's always good. Hello, welcome everybody. Wants to be somebody. Everybody wants to be somebody. Should we ever go with the other one? Right, so we've got a good tune on the 30. Still crackling. It's not quite right. I think that carb might be a bit funny. It's one of them modified rooster tail ones. I don't like it. I might just put a 990 on it. Be a bit more reliable. Let's turn the inverter off. Because we don't need power any longer. Let's tidy up a little bit here. Tidy up a little bit here and interact with you guys. Alright, welcome. Drop us a comment in the chats, people. Let us know where you are in the world. And if you're into RC, what you're into, what you got. We've had people with boats, we've had people with cars. I'm getting set and prepared for a big meet in December, where I've organised a bash meet down at MMR Raceway, where we're going to be 30-40 people strong, having a weekend blast around the track. So just going to make sure that my rigs, being the host, are up and running and competitive, really. It's no good running a rig if it's not competitive. You got to have a fighting chance of winning a race, really, ain't you? There is, you know, it's all for fun. Don't get me wrong. It's not serious. There's no prizes for first place. We are just going to have some fun at MMR Raceway. But I can't help it. I'm a competitive beast. So if I've got the option to be competitive, I'm going to be competitive. That's pretty much how I roll. So we've still got a bit of spare fuel line, which is nice. There's no air bubbles coming up the fuel line now, so that's good. We've cured that problem. Still can't quite get that tune bang on sweet. It's either lovely up the top end and crap in the middle, or it's good in the middle and crap at the top end. But we'll get there. We will get there. I think she just needs bedding in still, you know. It's a new engine, new ring, new piston. just needs a bit of help, doesn't it? Just needs to be worn in and broken. And then once it's broken in, happy days. Happy days. Right, we're going to give the MCD a blast. So we've sorted out the 30. We've put the new fuel lines in the 30. We've given it a tune. It's not happy, I'll be honest with you. It's not right, but it's better than it was. It could be the plug. To be honest with you, the plug could be fouled up. That'll be the next thing to change, for the spark plug, and then see if we can get it to run a bit sweeter. But in the meantime, we shall go to a different controller which hasn't got a flat battery. It's not beeping, see? And we're going to go to the MCD. I'm going to turn the kill switch on. I need to put some fuel in this, to be honest. That would probably help. Thinking about it. Ain't got no gas in it. That's what somebody said earlier. Ain't got no gas in it. Alright then. See how this behaves. A little bit of fuel in there. Now this one's a lot quieter because she's got a Samba silence pipe on it. Let you have a little look there, people. There's an old silence Samba pipe. Samba. So it hasn't got that rasp that the 30's got. It's a lot less, what do you call it? Antisocial, as a bow. Right, so we'll give it a prime. There we go. Now we've got a chokeless carb on this one. No, we haven't. Choke on. There we go. Let's give that a rip on the road then, shall we? Absolutely fantastic, that is. Is my battery that low? Right, guys, I better end the stream before my battery dies. But or I crash it because I'm driving one-handed. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. There we go. So, as always, 3rd channel kill switch. Engine dead. So, guys, thank you very much for the live. Who's this knobhead called?